Hi everyone, welcome to another review. Today we're looking at the new Beauty of Horror book. This is number 7, Backwards Records. So every Beauty of Horror book so far, apart from maybe the first one, I can't remember the second one, every one of them has a theme. So we've had horror movies, we've had famous artworks, there's been all kinds of themes, and this one is all about famous records and albums. So I'm really excited to see how Alan has put his spin on that, his horror spin. It's the same size shape format as all the other Beauty of Horror books. It has got all of the red foiling on the front and the back, and it is a removable dust jacket that you can colour as well. So it's got all bits from the book on that. You can use markers and stuff. It is glue bound, these books usually are, and sometimes you will notice that pages can come away from the binding a little bit. This one's doing it just here, but it's how they bind them. I do prefer a stitch binding if possible, but anyhow. So this is the title page. You can colour this as well. We've got gramophone, record player, that little thingy that you put in between the record, you know, in the middle of the record. It's probably got a name. And yeah, just bits that you can colour. Then we've got the copyright page, which has, again, just a little motif for you to colour with ghosts and skulls and things like that. And then here is the book belongs to page. So it is a record, and you can put your name on the record as well. Then, as usual, we have a lost items area. So you'll be able to have a little look for all of these items throughout the book. Rockstar shades, fingerless gloves, guitar picks, vintage microphones, spiked wristbands and lava lamps. So that's some fun things that you can look for throughout the book. And then around that we've got sort of like a record shop with albums on display and things like that. Then we've got the poem that we always get at the start, and I always read these out. I do have a bit of a croggy throat, and I've recently had a tooth out and it still hurts. So I'm going to do my best with this review. So, in a record shop long forgotten, under a full moon's glow, the owner's corpse lay cold and rotten, crushed by a fatal blow. A stack of albums took him down, his soul's trapped evermore. The clock strikes 3, the witching hour. Juliana appears at the door. With dark intent, she flips through the bins, making her selections. She spins the albums in reverse, warping the collection. The twisted sounds fill the store, backwards chants are spoken. The records we once loved and adored contort, forever broken. She casts her spell straight from hell. The art is alive and changing. The greatest hits of all time are completely rearranging. So it's up to you to stop this madness before her demise grows deadly. Find the items she's hidden throughout. Beware the ghost of Elvis Presley. So that's a fantastic poem. They always are. And obviously I'm a massive Elvis fan, so I'm loving that anyway. And here she is again in the record store. So she's done in the owner, and she's changed all of the album artwork. So obviously the title Backwards Records is a reference to, I think it was in the 60s, wasn't it? Around the kind of satanic panic time, when people said that if you played certain records backwards, there was creepy sort of chants and you know, stuff like that. So that's where the titles come from. And then we get straight into the artwork. So I'm going to make sure that you're lined up. Hopefully you can see all of both sides. So this first page isn't pertaining to any particular artwork. It's just showing you these sort of zombie creatures coming towards the record shop where Juliana's stood presenting her new spooky releases. And yeah, it's just kind of like zombies in the city. And then we've got our first album. So this is Bruce Springsteen's Born in the USA. Again, I'll put a picture over here so that you can have a look at the original. And this is called Born in the US Decay, Bruce Screamsteen. So again, it's just those funny plays on words. And it's tantamount to, again, I say this every time, Alan's imagination, that he's, you know, so easily able to turn things that we know and love into horrific versions. So yeah, Bruce Springsteen. The next one is the one that I've completed. It's Red Rum, Danny Torrance and the Overlook, which is actually Prince's Purple Rain. So it's got the same font and things like that. It's got the same sort of structure of the album. So I think Prince is on his bike, and then there's all this smoke and stuff. And of course we've got Wendy Torrance in the background, and then all of little motifs from the film. So we've got the 237 keyring, the bloody axe, the typewriter, the red room door, and all that stuff. And of course the Grady twins. So yeah, I had a lot of fun colouring this. I'm just going to move it in case you can see a glare. Yeah, it was loads of fun. And, you know, I'm a massive fan of The Shining, so I had to do a Shining one first. Then, let me line you up again. We have got Hannibal in Chains, which is Alice in Chains' Jar of Flies album. But of course, the horrific twist on this is that it's Hannibal Lecter with his jar of death head moths. And then we've got Madonna Like a Virgin, or Malaria Like a Vampire. So this is like a vampiric woman with a stake through the heart. Then we've got The Crash. This is London Calling, and in this book it's Lucifer Calling. So it's the same kind of thing as the album art, but it's just been changed so that it's now this demon that's centre stage. This one, Alan's called The Knife-Wielding Norman Bates, and this one is actually Bob Dylan, the freewheeling Bob Dylan. So we've got Norman and Mother. We've got the Bates Motel sign and the house in the background. It's really, really cool. I love how many horror movies are represented in this book, because I am a massive horror movie fan, as you know. So this is a double page spread not pertaining to any particular album. It's Guliana in the record shop playing some of her backwards records. Then we have Cyndi Lauper. She's So Contagious. This is Cyndi Lauper, obviously. She's So Unusual album. And she is, of course, a leper. One of her arms has fell off and she's got rather disgusting looking skin. This one doesn't pertain to an album. It's just a zombie listening to one of the backwards records. I believe this is the Life of Agony insignia that he's wearing on his shirt. Life of Agony is Alan Roberts' metal band. So then we've got Clockwork, The Four Droogs, and this is, of course, Kraftwerk, The Man Machine. So Clockwork Orange is what's being depicted in this one. It's a film that I've seen bits of and not all of it. I know it's a classic, but I wasn't into it. I don't know why. I wasn't into it. So then we've got Iron Maiden, or rather Ian McDonald. This is the album Killers, but it's now called McKiller. So this is so much fun. We've got Ronald McDonald. And you can see he's got a burger in one hand and his bloody axe in the other, and we've got McDonald's in the background. It's so much fun. So much fun. I can imagine that he had a really good time illustrating this particular book. So this one is NWA Straight Outta Compton, but this time it's the Zombie WA. I don't know what the WA stands for. Straight Outta Coffins. Oh my gosh, it's great. Then we've got Goodbye Camp Crystal Lake by Voorhees, or rather Goodbye Yellow Brick Road by Elton John. So here's Jason skipping down the pier, and we've got this guy sort of falling out of his wheelchair. And again, we've got a double page spread, which is just in the theme of backwards records. So we've got creatures actually coming out of the vinyl of the record. That's such a fun idea. We've got Guliana, Never Kind, or rather, Nirvana, Nevermind. This is such fun as well, obviously, with the censored, you know, the baby. And you can see that the little bait hook has Guliana's bow on it. Now, this one was the one that I was certain I would be doing first, but then I changed my mind and went for the Shining one. I was a massive Blink-182 fan as a teenager. I had rather an eclectic music taste when I was a teenager. I started off as a preteen, being a proper boy band sort of girl, you know, Take That. And then as I got into my teenage years, I was the biggest Westlife fan you've ever met. And then as I got to sort of 15, 16, that's where I became entrenched in sort of pop punk. So Blink-182 and Good Charlotte and all those bands. So this is the one that I thought I'd do because it's one of my favourite albums of all time. It's Enema of the State. And it, of course, depicts a nurse on the front. So we've got a a corpse zombie skeletal nurse on this one. Then we've got Butch DeFeo, Haunted Houses. And this one is Billy Joel Glass Houses. So this is pertaining to the Amityville Horror and obviously the DeFeo family who were in that film. I'm hoping that I'm not cutting off any of this. It's hard sometimes to see whether you're on screen properly. Then we've got John Nada, Kick-Ass and Chew Bubblegum, which is Elton John, not Elton John, John Lennon, Walls and Bridges. So again, not an album I know. I'm not a John Lennon fan. But yeah, you can tell it's him, definitely. But look at all of these like corpses that he's got in his glasses. It reminds me of that film They Live, which I still haven't seen, but I was introduced to by the Beauty of Horror books. And this again is another double page spread, and it is the dog and the... This isn't a gramophone, is it? Or is it? Anyways, it's the HMV symbol, the music brand. I don't know if it's the same in America, whether you have HMV. I don't know if we even have them anymore, or whether it's all online now. But it used to be a record store you could go into and buy your CDs and things like that. And this would be the icon, you know, the logo of that brand. Then we've got the Damn Dirty Apes Forbidden Zone. So this is the Monkeys headquarters. I'm just looking back at, because I've got the list on my phone here, and I'm just looking back at that previous one, and it says it's the RCA brand mascot. So that's what it is. I know that HMV in the UK also uses this. Moving on, so then we have the Monkeys headquarters. So this is Planet of the Apes, and it looks as though they're in armour. I'm not sure what this is. It looks like armour. Again, the real album cover of the Monkeys will show you what it's meant to be, but I don't have that in front of me at the minute. So we've got Zombie, which is Blondie, and this is called Eat the Human Meat. The real album's called Eat to the Beat. So again, just these play on words, it's such fun. And there's Debbie Harry and the other ones in Blondie that I don't know the names of. This one's really cool. Again, it's another one that I was picking out to do first. It's The Stranger's Experience, Are You Ready to Die? So this is Jimi Hendrix, Are You Experienced? So we've got the three characters from The Strangers, the sack head and the two doll masks. And this is one of my favourite films. It's so scary. I think it's just the fact that it could happen to anyone, and the fact that they didn't do it for any kind of reason. It was just simply because they were there. So yeah, it's a creepy film. Then we've got this one, which is Red Hot Chili Peppers, and it's Blood, Sugar, Sex, Magic, but instead we've got Tear Your Soul Apart, and it's the Red Hot Chili Cenobites from the, come on Claire, Pinhead, what's it called? Hellraiser films. You've got the, I do know what all this is called, it's just my brain goes blank. This is the Lament configuration, yeah? And these are all the Cenobites. So it's really cool how he sort of put that next to, or in place of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Is this the next page? Yeah. So this is Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? And it's now Marvin Slay, What's Going On After Dark. So again, really cool. This is a vampiric illustration. And then the next one's really fun as well. It's Freddy Krueger, Teenage Dream Warriors. And of course, it's Katy Perry, Teenage Dream. I just love how Freddy's in the clouds. You could do this with that colour palette of the original album, which is, you know, all bubblegum pinks and blues. Or you could make all of these clouds blood red and dripping. It's totally up to you. But I think it would be quite fun to have him in that environment of candy floss and clouds and pastel colours. Then we've got the Go-Go's, Sydney and the Scream. So this is pertaining to the Scream movie franchise. But this is, let me read it, the Go-Go's, Beauty and the Beat. So again, not a band that I'm really familiar with, but I do love the artwork. Look at all of them in towels with their Scream masks on. Then another one that I was going to do first, because, you know, The Shining. This is Jack Torrance, and it's called Every Caretaker Tells a Story. And this is in place of Rod Stewart, Every Picture Tells a Story. But I just love the look of this one. It's got that kind of Art Deco look that the hotel has in The Shining, the gold room, and you know, all of that. So I really, really like this, and it looks so much like Jack Nicholson. So talented, Alan. And then we've got another double page spread with, again, those little things that you put in the middle of records. Tell me what they are in the comments, and I can spot a few little lava lamps and things on here. And then in the background, I think we get one of these in most beauty of horror books. It's like a wall of flesh, and there's faces and things sort of being ripped out of the flesh, and you can see that in the background here. This one's another really fun one. They're all really fun. So this is called Superfan at Breakfast at Annie's, and this is Misery, of course, Stephen King. We've got the typewriter, Paul Sheldon, that's his name, what's his name, James Caan in Misery. And this is Supertramp, Breakfast in America. So much fun. Again, Kathy Bates, she's got her hobbling hammer. She's got the penguin ornament, little house in the background. I love it. This is fantastic. They're all fantastic. I keep saying it. Pink Floyd, The Division Bell. This one doesn't have any change of name on it or anything like that, but it's the same sort of look. Instead of the statuettes that are on the album, we've got the Billy the Saw puppet faces. Really, really cool. This one is Van Helsing Moon Trance. So this is cool because it's showing us the transformation from American Werewolf in London. And you can see here that he's starting off as the man, he's transforming slowly into the wolf. And the album that this is depicting is Van Morrison, Moondance. We've then got the Beastie Boys, Check Your Head. This one's called Priesty Boys, Spin Your Head. Another one that I really wanted to do first as well. Just so much fun. So we've got Father Merrin, Father Karras, and Reagan, of course, from The Exorcist. She's got a puddle of vomit beneath her feet. They've got crosses and holy water. I love it. Dracula, Dracula. So this is depicting Duran Duran's Rio, but instead of Rio, we've got Vlad. And it's Gary Oldman's version of Dracula as well. There's Tyler, the Creator's Flower Boy, but instead we've got Candyman. So all the bees are following Candyman. He's got his hook and his long coat. That's quite a nice background, actually. It's quite pleasant. You don't normally see those kind of backgrounds in an Alan Robert book. And then double page spread of Guliana having a groove and a dance in the record shop. This is great too. So we've got Mr. Babadook, Amelia's Restaurant, and this is in place of Arlo Guthrie, Alice's Restaurant. Not someone I've heard of, but I have heard of the Babadook, of course. I love it. It's a fantastic film, and it's one of them that's quite polarising. I know that a lot of people completely hated it, and I loved it. So then we've got, this is the album SOS from SZA. I don't know, again, who they are. You probably will, but this is Jaws, I believe. And we've got Guliana sat on the walk the plank, wearing her 666 jumper. So here, I'm sorry I keep having to move this, but I want you to see all of the pages. This is Fiend of Choice, Devil. So this is Freedom of Choice by Devo. Not what I've heard before. I've heard of, I think it's called Freedom of Choice by, my brain today. Fatboy Slim, right? It's Weapon of Choice. I'm completely on the wrong track. So again, just a fun illustration. Even if you haven't heard of the music and stuff, you would still want to colour these because it's just great. So all of these demons. Then we've got Come Haunt With Me, Frank Sinatra with Crooked Man and his orchestra, which is, of course, Come Fly With Me by Frank Sinatra. But we have the Crooked Man from the second Conjuring film, The Enfield Haunting. Such a fantastic character. I wish they would do a spin-off film about the Crooked Man. It's so creepy. We have got Valhalla, Citadel, Sigs, Ride Eternal, Shiny and Chrome. This is Van Halen 1984. And this looks like some kind of gas mask. Again, I don't know what the cover looks like, but it'll be on the screen for you. This is great, the Milwaukee Monster Driller. So instead of Michael Jackson, we've got, with Thriller, we've got Jeffrey Dahmer with his drill and a brain. Very dark. Obviously, it's a real life thing, so it won't be to everyone's taste, but you know. This is the Book of the Dead from Evil Dead, isn't it? Let me just check the list. Okay, so Life of Agony, River Runs Red. Life of Ash. Ash is the character from Evil Dead, and we've got Book of the Dead. So Life of Agony, again, as I mentioned at the start of the video, is Alan Roberts' band. They're fantastic, heavy metal. I went to see them 3, 4, maybe even 5 years ago now. Really, really good night, great concert. If you can get to one of their gigs and you're into that kind of music, definitely go. But yeah, so obviously he's had to include one of his albums in here. And I think River Runs Red is their most famous or most popular album. So that's what this is pertaining to. And, you know, it's great to see Alan's band being depicted in the book as well. Then we've got Lunatic Fear, Chilean Fear. What's this one? This is Ludicrous Chicken and Beer. So Lunatic, Chilean Fear, or Ludicrous Chicken and Beer. That's, if you try and say that fast, it's really difficult. It's difficult for me to say at normal speed. The Texas Oklahoma Chili Cook-Off presents. So this looks like, you know, obviously it's in Texas, so it's bound to be Texas Chainsaw, right? But this guy actually looks like Riff Raff from the Rocky Horror Show. It probably isn't. It probably is just Texas Chainsaw, but anyway, another really fun illustration. Then we've got Carrie White, Me Fiesta. So this is, of course, Carrie, another Stephen King book that was made into a movie with Sissy Spacek. And I'm just looking what this is. This is Gloria Estefan, Mi Tierra. So Mi Fiesta, Carrie White. And you can see the girl in there. That's her mum, isn't it? Her mum with the knife. Carrie with the pig's blood in the bucket, and then the bullies of the high school. So this is fun. Again, we've got films being depicted here that he hasn't, Alan's not depicted before, such as Black Phone. Is it Black Phone? Yeah. Ethan Hawke, isn't it? Again, not a film that I really thought was great. Enjoyed it, watched it, but it wasn't one of my favourites. So this is depicting Motley Crue's Theatre of Pain. We've got the grabber phone. It's for you. The phone's for you. And you've got Ethan Hawke's grabber masks on there as well. So again, really fun. It's good to see more movies being depicted. Absolutely adore this one because I love the film Trick or Treat. It's Sam, it's the sack boy with his lollipop. And this is, of course, Korn and the album Issues. So I knew it was Korn straight away because of the lettering for Sam. This is very similar to the Korn font. Korn's not a band that I really listened to, but it was definitely around a lot when I was in school. I didn't really go into the heavy metal, sort of death metal, screamo bands. I was definitely more of the pop punk side. So we've got, recognise this one straight away, Fleetwood Mac. This is called Vampire Snack, and it's called Interviews. So the actual album was Rumours, of course. And you've got Mick Fleetwood and what's her name? Oh man, I just can't remember. She's like my spirit animal and I can't remember her name. Stevie Nicks. Brain fart today. Yeah, great. Can't wait to do this one. Perfect Organism, Burst Again. So who's this? Let me check. Let me check my list, which has gone off because of course it has. Black Sabbath, Born Again. So Black Sabbath again, probably a little bit too heavy for me, a little bit before my time. Then we've got DMX, Year of the Dog again, and this is Hex, Year of the Wolf again. Fantastic. Full Moon Advisory, bloody content. Then we've got Tiffany, Here You Kill Again. So this is, of course, Here You Go Again by Dolly Parton, or Here You Come Again, whatever it's called. And then we've got Tiffany, the doll from Child's Play. So this is Thingy's girlfriend, isn't it? What's his name? Completely gone. There's something in the water today. Chucky's girlfriend. I love this. So this is AC/DC. And it's Blow Up Your Video. But this is Blow Up Your Videotape. And it's RING, which is The Ring, of course. Samara from The Ring with the well, the videotape. Fantastic. Another one that I really want to do. Meet the Creepers, the first album by the phenomenal Undead combo. And this is The Beatles Meet the Beatles. So again, not a band that I'm really interested in, but cool artwork. All the lines are making my eyes go funny. Then we've got another double page spread of Inside the Record Shop. And we've got little bits of the albums on the wall as well. We've got Puppet Master Terror in the Attic, and this is Aerosmith Toys in the Attic. So what have we got? We've got all kinds of... Oh, look at this. He's got like 3 arms. He's got 6 arms, 3 sets of arms. He's got fire coming out of his wrist. This is like... I'm not even going to try and think anymore because I can't remember, but you can see. Jester, that's the word I'm looking for. Then we've got the Elvis album. 50 million Halloween fans can't be wrong. So this is, of course, 50 million Elvis fans can't be wrong. And we've got the Shapes Gold records. A killer such as I need your blood tonight. Wear my hands around your neck. Don't you think it's time to die? I beg you not to run. A big hunk of death. Don't scream. My sick wish came true. One night you'll die. You got stabbed. I love this. Obviously, again, being an Elvis fan, I can't wait to colour this one. Fantastic. Michael Myers. Love it. Another double page spread here of some music notes with little skulls on. Then we've got the Herger Elders, May Queen and the Infinite Sacrifices, which is actually the Smashing Pumpkins, Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. So haven't seen or heard of that, but this is depicting Midsummer, the horror film. Then we've got Dead Will Roll Over. Dead Will Roll Over by Kill, which is actually Rock and Roll Over by Kiss. And I love this, the 4 characters in the middle with the tongue. And it's Freddy, it is Michael Myers, Jason, and Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw. We've got the Lost Boys, Rebel Hell, which is Billy Idol's Rebel Yell. And of course, the Lost Boys, Kiefer Sutherland. I was going to say Keir Starmer then. Ugh. Then we've got Clown's Demon Ways, and this is Gorilla's Demon Days. So we have got Art the Clown, Pennywise. This is Twisty from American Horror Story, and I can't remember what this one is. Is it Killer Clowns from Outer Space? Might be. But again, another really cool idea and a way that he's twisted the album artwork to have that horrific touch. What's this one? I think this is just another sort of in-between page with a record player made from a human skull. And then we've got Baby, Spalding and Otis, which is Crosby, Stills and Nash, self-titled. So this is from The Devil's Rejects, another fantastic horror film. I didn't really like the spin-offs of this. Can't remember what it was called. Of course I can't, but I love The Devil's Rejects. So yeah, this is another one I can't wait to colour. And then you've got a space here, which is actually the front cover in black and white that you can fill in with whatever you want. You've also got create your own record. So this is like when it's gone platinum or whatever, you can put your own artwork on there. And again, create your own album covers. So we've got 2 spaces for that. Then you've got where you can put your palette, check your colours. This appears in every book. And then we've got the key to the lost items, so you can find all of those lost things. And then here's the art key that I've been reading off of on my phone, oops, this whole time. And it just tells you all the different page numbers and what the real album inspiration was. Then you've got a little advert page for all the other Beauty of Horrors. And that's it. So once again, I'm sorry for a review that's a little bit all over the place. Again, like I said, I've had a tooth out this week. I've been to the hospital. I've been finally diagnosed with something. And it's all just been a bit of a whirlwind week. And yeah, so I'm all over the place, but thank you for sticking with me. I hope that you've loved this new Beauty of Horror book. It's fantastic. As always, I can't wait to see what Alan does next. He seems to have ideas and themes and concepts coming out of his ears, and it's fantastic. And he's also on tour at the minute with the band, so it's like, I don't know how he's got all of this brain time and ability to function and do things, because I'm just so far removed from that. But yeah, I absolutely love it. I'll leave the links in the description where you can buy your copy. Hope you've enjoyed it. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you soon on Colour with Claire.